Hello, in this Opticam for Solidworks video, we will be creating a program from this part. So first thing we will need to do is select the origin. So the origin on this part is already located and oriented the direction that I want it to be. If you wanted to or needed to move the origin, you will need to select a specific edge or point on your solid model. If you needed to change the direction, you will need to select one of the faces or edges of the axes here. Once this is done, we can click OK. And the next step is to select technology. The higher up the tree, the more global the setting is. So that is why we selected origin at the very top. This technology here will carry over for all of the features underneath. You still have the option of selecting a separate or different technology later on for each individual feature you select. For this one, this is the database table for the Makino. So I'm just going to select my materials, my wire size, and filter all of these until I get what I want. From here, depending on your machine, you can select technology from here and then edit or make some changes if needed in the cuts editor. Make sure to check take over selected tech and then go to the cuts editor. For this example, we will be accepting the technology that was loaded from the database. I'll click OK again. And then now I can move down to workpiece. Workpiece here is just a representation of the block that you're going to cut this part out of. So it does not have to be exact, it's just a representation for the simulation. I can click OK again, and then next we'll move down to operation. So under operation, I'll go ahead and double click this to open up the menu. I'll give this a file name. I'll say exam1. And this is also where you're able to add a description, a part number, as well as set your machine origin. G92. For this one, I will switch to a G54. And then the working planes here, this will automatically be calculated when we run the feature recognition. You can also select the planes manually if you prefer. I can click on this box and then select the very top face of my part, and that is the height generated. So I can click OK. And then now I can run the feature recognition. You can either do this from the Opticam menu at the top of your screen, or you can right click on operation and then use feature recognition from here. For this example, we will be selecting manual feature recognition. For manual feature recognition, we have several options here of manually selecting the faces or the vertical edges. So on this example, I will show you how we select the different features. So first option is manual selection with automatic connection. So here I can select one of these faces that I want to cut, and it will automatically connect all of the faces surrounding it. If I did not like this, I can cancel this and then choose a different selection. So I can also choose manual face selection. This is if you only want to cut certain faces on your part. So here I can hold Control and just select individual faces that I want to connect. So once I release Control, I can rotate my part and then hold Control again to select my remaining faces. So you can see here, those are the faces that I've selected. So if you click in selection, these will be the feature that you cut. I'm going to clear this one more time and then select edges now instead. So right now I can select edges. So just like before, if I hold Control, I can select multiple edges. If I end selection, you can see here, it will stop and end on those edges that you've selected. For this example though, we will choose the very first selection mode. I'll click on this one face and then click OK. You notice here the face that I clicked on is also the face that my start hole is leading onto. Okay, so this is just part of the start hole settings that Opticam has. All right, so you can also zoom in now and see the 3 passes or technology that was selected as well. So you can see the offset here. This is kind of a nice way to see if there is anything going on in the corners, anything odd or should not be happening there. So once you're done here, you can see in the tree over here, I can click on the plus sign to open up the tree for this feature. So a few other things that we need to finish up before we can post. If you click on the feature, you can see it highlight with where the start hole is going to be. If you double click on this, you can select the direction, what side you want to cut on. What I'm going to go to and change is the segment here. So I can select a size for my bridge. So different software, different companies choose different names for this this right here. Our classic software we use, we call this a tag or a glue stop. In Opticam for Solidworks, this is called a bridge. So I can change this. I can make this smaller and press enter, and you can see here it changed on our drawing as well. Okay, so that's just the distance of our bridge which holds our slug. Okay. So on this same page, you are able to add an additional stop. Right, so it will automatically stop at your bridge, but then you can add another stop while it's cutting this bridge, and you can set a distance for that. You can also add additional clearance in here. So this additional clearance can be a positive or negative number, which adds on to your offsets so that you can leave more material on your part or cut more material off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK here. And then if I needed to, I can go to my lead menu, and in here I can select where I want my start hole to be. Remember that right now all of these settings were applied using the start hole settings, the automatic start hole settings. So if you were going to select a different location, you will need to uncheck this first, and then you can manually select a different position for your start hole. Okay, so from here, explicit start hole, I can click anywhere here to select a different start hole position. Okay, So if I wanted to, I can always revert back to this though, okay? And that will make changes, okay? So if you knew exactly where you wanted your start hole, you can manually select your XY position for that. You can do this for the end point as well as the lead on and lead off. Okay. Here on the lead off, you have some options here for the length of the lead off as well as overlapping. Okay. So from here, I can click OK. And those are pretty much the very basic settings that you need to set to create your program. You need to make sure that you select your origin, select your technology, select your bridge size, and then where you want your start hole to be. Okay. So from here, everything is pretty much done. I can right click on operation here and run the solid simulation. And press play here. Rapid moves to my start hole and starts my pass. So from here, I can speed this up. Okay, so it automatically stops at my bridge. I can press play to cut my bridge and drop my slug. And then it will continue with the trim passes. So I can cancel out of this. You can also go to your strategy, and this is where you would go to select when you want your bridge to be cut. So right here I have it selected as cutting my bridge at the end of the first cut. All right, I can click OK here. I can also right click on operation and then output my NC file. Overwrite. I already have an ISO file with that name. So here I can select the file and then open the editor, and this is my code. So my first pass technology called up, my bridge stop, and then here is my second pass technology and third pass technology. Hopefully this helps. This is the first video in our training series. Thank you.